to season 3 of Break the Silence, Build the Future. I'm your host, Fatuma Kuso. Today's episode is titled, You Can't Go Back, and that is not failure. Last week we talked about the stillness that follows crisis, the moment when everything changes and you are left in the quiet, the silence, stillness, that whooshing sound that anybody who'd been there knows. Today we're going deeper into what happens when we realize we cannot return to who we were or the life we had before. That realization can feel like defeat, but what if that's not defeat? What if it is the beginning of something new, something different? Something you didn't expect, but it's there all the same. There is a kind of grief that no one talks about. People understand the grief at the time when the tragedy happens. People understood that. People understood the loss that had taken place. That is very clear to most people, to everyone almost. When my daughter went missing, we had people understanding the grief of her absence. And when we finally realized she was gone, everybody understood the grief. Everybody understood the loss. Everybody understood the tragedy that befallen on my family. But it's hard to understand or talk about the impact that grief has on those left behind. And that impact is a grief. That's the kind of grief that no one talks about. The grief for the life you thought you would have. After my daughter's death, I remember sitting alone and thinking, this isn't life I planned. I wasn't just grieving her loss. I was grieving for the birthdays that wouldn't happen. I was grieving the grandbabies she wouldn't get to raise. Phone calls we would never have. I was grieving my identity as her mother, as my firstborn. The shape my family once had. The impact it will have on the rest of my children. And the future I thought was guaranteed, where she would take care of me in my old age, and she will be behind me, praying for me when I'm gone. That grief is invisible to others. Others can't understand the impact which becomes its own grief. All the other losses that came with the loss of my daughter. That grief is invisible, but it's very real. And we carry it, I carry it silently. You might be mourning a version of yourself you can't get back to. The one before the trauma, before the betrayal, before the moment that split your life in two, that cracked to you open to somebody totally different. Somebody that's not the same, somebody you do not recognize. We're often told, at least I understood, that healing means returning to normal. But when your life has been fundamentally altered, how could you go back to normal? And what does normal actually mean? There is no going back, and definitely not going back to what your old former normal is. You have to adapt to a new normal. And I want to tell you that is not failure. That the inability to go back is not a failure. It's actually a form of courage. To accept that the path has changed. To stop looking in the rear view mirror. Accept the fact that you are walking into the unknown. You wouldn't know where this road leads to. No matter how old you are, 40, 50, 30, all that learning, all that experience, all that existence, that's gone now. You're starting all over again. You're getting to know yourself all over again. You are working on accommodating the grief as part of your new normal. So it's okay to stop looking in the rear view mirror. It's okay to walk into the unknown. It's okay not to know where this new road leads you. I spent a long time trying to feel like myself again. But the truth is, I wasn't that version of myself anymore. I had changed. The loss of my daughter shaped me in ways I didn't choose, ways I didn't want, ways I wish I could go back and change. But I couldn't ignore those ways. And I resisted it. I resisted accepting it. But the resisting that truth, resisting that reality, resisting that new normal only deepened my pain. Only we don't talk enough about how grief transforms you, makes you somebody different, not necessarily something broken, but into someone new. You become a different person. Growth is not about restoring the person you were before the tragedy. It's about reconstruction. I am not and will never be the person I was before. And that's not only okay, that's the honest truth of the situation. The situation you cannot change, you cannot modify. So your new strength, your new voice, your new boundaries, these are all pieces of the person you are becoming. You might not recognize this version of yourself yet, and that is okay. In time, I'm hoping I recognize the person I've become. I recognize the person I'm growing into be. And that person, she deserves your compassion. She deserves your understanding and acceptance of the new person. You might say, I just want my old life back. Everything felt easier before. Is it wrong to feel stuck in the past? It's not wrong at all. That feeling of saying, why me? Why did this happen to me? Why am I here? I want my old life back. I want time back before the tragedy, before the loss. That feeling is part of grief. It's only human. We hold on to what we knew because it gave us sense of normalcy, sense of security, sense of identity, sense of love, sense of understanding. That's what we knew. We've known for the last 20, 30, in my case, over 50 years. And missing that, wanting that back, yearning for that, and feeling stuck is not only normal, it makes you human. So I gently invite you to consider this. Your longing for the past is also a longing for comfort, for connection, and safety. And those things, that longing, the understanding, those can still exist in your life. They might just take new forms. You don't have to let go of the past all at once, but try loosening your grip one breath at a time. You can't go back, but that doesn't mean you failed. It means you are alive, you are evolving, you are still here, and you deserve compassion, love, kindness, understanding, because you are evolving and you are still here. Next week, we'll talk about identity, about becoming someone new without losing who you were before this tragedy. Until then, Be gentle with yourself. The version of you that's emerging is worth knowing. This has been Break the Silence, Build the Future, Season 3. Now what? Until next week, bye for now.